Indiana Jones. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute, the podcast in which we celebrate and discuss the film Raiders of the Lost Ark 1 minute at a time. I almost ran out of breath. I'm Tom Taylor.
Pete Mummert here.
I'm Jerry Porter.
And I'm Jamie.
Welcome, Jamie. Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. Your archaeological knowledge is making this whole cockamamie project worth it.
Aw, thanks.
And we are here to talk about minute 68 of Raiders. And minute 68 begins with Marion and Belloq laughing and drinking, and it ends with Toht brandishing some kind of chain weapon.
Well, what I like here is you see about Belloq, you know, what we see is that when he's not yelling at Dietrich, you know, for spilling the beans to DeFerber about the Ark of the Covenant, you know, this is what he's doing. This is him, you know, when he punches out. You're like, this is what Belloq does in his free time. He's whining and dining the ladies, and he's comfortable here. Even though Marion is, you know, has put him in an uncomfortable place, you're like, this is Belloq's. This is what he does in his free time.
Yeah. Capturing women and making them put on dresses.
Okay.
And bragging about his family label and, you know, just riching.
But it seems to work because Marion says she's like, I like you, René.
That is
very
weird.
Much.
I
And
noticed
think,
that more this time than before.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think,
he's very charming. I don't know.
He is.
Like, he'd be a fun guy to go drinking with.
Yeah. I think part of the reason we hate Belloq so much is because he is legitimately cool. You know, he does have it all together. He's a monster, but he knows what he's doing. He's got his ducks in a row.
Well, if you're the tortoise and the hare, you know, it's like I always identify with the tortoise. You know what I mean? Belloq's the hare.
Hello, Cecil.
You're like he's dressed well. His cottontail is always coiffed. I mean, he's just you know,
makes
that
him
is
such a
his
good
charm.
villain.
Yeah.
yeah.
He wouldn't be a good villain if he wasn't equal to Indy. You know what I mean?
Right. That's
Yeah,
true.
and
He's just
even
like some goofy dude. He wouldn't be threatening.
He's even ahead of Indy. I mean, as we've, you know, with he takes everything away from him. He's always a step ahead of Indy. I mean, hell,
Yeah.
he's in Tanis before Indy is. I mean, isn't he?
He is. Yeah. Totally. Balosh. As she's backing away, she pulls the knife, and they have a good old laugh about that, and which is actually pretty awesome. Let's just come out and say that's an awesome moment when she pulls the knife, and they both just crack up about it. But then she sticks with it, and she's like, well, I'm gonna get out of here now. And he does this sort of like, okay, kind of waves her off. And I don't totally get, in the context of the scene, what that means. Like, is he, I mean, it gets back to like what we were saying a couple days ago. Is he actually blitzed? Is he faking? And if he's faking, is he saying, okay, I'm going to let you go? Because nobody's blocking her way yet that he knows about, that she doesn't know about. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason for him to be like, okay, why don't you leave?
Well, this is easy. He's drunk.
I don't know.
Oh, he knows that skinny guy's right outside the tent door.
Oh, yeah. Little Billy Nazi, whatever his name was. I guess he does know that, even though we don't know that. But it's weird because his attitude does change. Like, he goes, like, right after this, he's got a very sober, serious look on his face as he watches her go. Like, this isn't going to go the way you think it's going to go, Marion Ravenwood. But just a second before, he's kind of playing along with it. I don't know. It's just it's a tiny little thing.
As the minute
but
starts, he's actually having a good time.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he knows any of those things are going to happen. He doesn't know that Marion has the knife. I mean, he's there I mean, vulnerable, but he's kind of opened up. He's like, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he knows stakes are very low for him in that situation. So
Very well put.
go on.
The stakes are very low because he already knows it's 3 weeks in every direction, whatever. So
Yeah,
he's like, I'm
exactly.
fine. Walk out the door if you need to.
He knows she's not gonna kill him with the butter knife, so I
Right.
don't know.
Well, hell, he laughs at it.
Right.
Yeah.
He's really not too concerned.
So he really is in control this whole time. And he's not blitzed.
Well,
I'm kind of leaning towards that. I don't know.
now look, I mean, locally he's not in control, but in the Google Maps picture outside of the tent, he's in control.
Right.
All right.
You know what I love though, right here, is that you can actually see, and this again, he's having a great time. He's having a great time. He's flirting. We're having fun, talking about things other than archaeology and that damn Dr. Jones guy. You know what I mean? We're having fun. And then Toht shows up
Yeah.
and she backs away. Like she starts backing away. She starts backing away. And you can see in his face blue balls. Like there's one shot of his face. There's one shot of his face, and it looks identical to diddled, saddened blue balls. Like
Yeah,
his face.
His face was very like, this party is over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
See, I saw
man,
that
the
and
cops.
it's actually right. Yeah,
I saw that face as, oh God, I just gave away Toad's dress and he sees it now.
This is gonna be awkward. Think fast, Belloq. I do love that you can see Marion before she turns around. You can see her realize that somebody's behind her, and she freaks out. That's pretty good. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
She gets that from looking at Belloq's face.
There's a lot of like subtle acting in this scene.
Yeah, we learned last week that this scene was just sort of improvised between Karen Allen and Paul Freeman.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that they were like, hey, Steven Spielberg, let us just kind of riff with this and figure something out, and that's what they did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Paul Freeman, Jerry, by the way, plays Belloq.
Oh, I have a question.
Okay.
Who the f*** is René?
What?
What?
That's Belloq's first name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all of a sudden she calls him René.
Well, they've been drinking buddies for about an hour now, and
Yeah,
they
but
put
I'm
knives
like,
on each other.
Who's René? This is kind of like that Air Max stuff. It's like we all know him as Belloq, and then she's like, "I like you, René," and I'm like, "Who's René?"
She's humanizing him.
Yeah.
She's appealing to his nature, his better nature.
You're saying that the audience is going to be thrown and confused because she's suddenly using a name we haven't heard before?
Well, if the audience is me,
Yeah, you have a hard time.
I do. I'm really dumb at movies. It's true.
Wait. That's your most often used word, I think, in life. Wait.
It's true. Yeah.
Back
That's
this up.
It's the tortoise. It's the tortoise. Something drives me nuts though about this whole scene, and it's been bothering me for a while. And Toht says, she runs into Toht and turns around. And did anybody else catch those wild dogs barking fiercely in the background?
No, I don't think I
Oh.
did.
Yeah. If you listen, maybe you need headphones, but these dogs are going bananas in the background right when Toht delivers his line. You Americans are all the same, always overdressing for the wrong occasions.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, you're full of shit, Toht. That's not true. If anything, Americans are habitually underdressing.
Yeah, we're slobs. When do we ever
Yeah.
overdress?
Yeah. I mean,
Well-
hell, we used to dress up when we'd fly on planes.
Right. Or make long distance phone calls.
Exactly. And then now it's,
Well, I just thought it was Toht saying he would have worn that dress on the right occasion.
on his wedding day.
no, think about that.
I don't want to think about that. I choose not to.
Well, I wonder, like, where is Toht hanging out where he gets that impression about Americans?
It's Nazi propaganda. They were all a bunch of stuck-up goons and
Overdressed.
yeah, we put on our
Well-
ascots to eat our caviar, and you know.
Well, he
But I
shows up
I
in
think that
his torture vest.
I think that's probably a kind of a legitimate statement for 1937 or whenever this movie is taking place. Because most of the Americans they would have encountered in Europe are like wealthy Americans.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
Kind
in
of
the-
known for, being nouveau riche and wanting to flaunt their wealth to Europeans. So
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
He's probably at like these, high society German parties where, elite Americans are hanging out too. And yeah, that's probably true.
Well, and he keeps running. I mean, I guess he's just hanging around at the torture club,
Yeah.
which is like everybody's always overdressing.
exactly.
Tell
If they're
that to
gonna
torture club.
torture him, yeah.
I have a question about Toht. What is his rank here? Like, what is his rank in the military that all the like a colonel and Gobler are so deferential to him? Because Gobler like just takes his coat like he's a servant.
Yeah. And it's weird too. I mean, because I want to say like, oh, I guess he clearly outranks them. He's out of uniform, but he's dressed up and they're all sort of, following his lead. But earlier when we first see Toht in the desert here in Cairo, Dietrich is like, I have the perfect man for this kind of work, which makes it sound like, oh, here's my lackey Toht who's going to do the dirty work for me. So it is a little weird. Like, yeah, I don't get, is he an errand boy or is he calling the shots?
Did you
I
guys
think
ever watch the X-Files?
Sure.
Because he kind of reminds me of the cigarette smoking man.
Oh, that's not a
Yeah.
bad analogy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
a shadowy figure of vaguely high rank, but he's not in the military.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he just
no one's
gets
quite
called
sure.
in for dirty situations.
Kind of like Darth Vader in a way.
I was just going to say
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's a good call.
What is Darth Vader's rank?
Right.
Right,
And you're like Grand Moff Tarkin's kind of running things.
right.
Because he says, Lord Vader, release him, and he's like, as you wish.
Okay,
Yeah.
boss.
Yeah.
So you're like, I guess he's clocked in.
Right. Can you sign my timesheet, Grand Moff Tarkin? Thank you.
But he does have the title of Lord.
He does. But yeah, but it's like not like a military thing. Like it's like a
That's a
separate.
Sith thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah,
I
Toht
say
seems
with
to
authority,
be.
I have no idea.
But yeah, Toht seems to be like this sort of separate. He might not even be like in the military or anything. I'm sure somebody's gonna write to us and say no, he's a major general or something. I don't know.
Right.
But
Yeah, his sister owns a bakery.
I have
all
such like a on and off sense of like looking stuff up. Like I said right at the beginning, like I want to just kind of like take all the stuff, like whatever's in the movie is what we're working with. But then sometimes I'll look stuff up because I'm like, oh, what's Toht's middle name? And, but then if I find out, I'm like, that's stupid. All right, I'm going to go back to the part in the movie where I don't know what that is.
Yeah, you're like, oh, Toht's a Taurus?
Right. Oh, he had his heart broken?
On the Indiana Jones wiki. And no joke, the first sentence of his biography is Major Arnold Ernst Toht had at least one sibling, a sister named Ilsa.
Oh, Ilsa.
And then it lists him as being a Gestapo agent and a major.
Oh, that makes sense. We're forgetting about the Gestapo.
Yeah.
That actually makes a lot
I
of sense.
checked that page out too, actually, and we talked about it on an earlier minute.
Yeah, you mentioned Elsa.
Yeah, and then I closed the window.
And walked away.
Yeah.
You're dead to me, Wikipedia. Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, if it doesn't, if what you discover when you looking this stuff up doesn't seem to fit your own imagination or your
Yeah.
own imaginative universe,
Right.
it can be jarring.
Yeah. Ponda Baba? That guy's name is Walrus Man. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing.
But Boba
I feel
Fett
that way
as a
about
dad?
Star Wars.
Wait, what?
Way about so much of Star Wars, especially all the new stuff. I'm like, but no, that's not what happened.
Right, right. The Clone
Spent,
Wars was,
15 years imagining this. Come on.
yeah. Quit making stuff up.
Yeah.
You're freaking me out. Well, does anybody have anything else for this minute? Something's about to happen. I think Marion's about to get whipped to death with a chain. This is awful. I almost don't want to watch the next minute.
Yeah, it's scary.
It is. When Toad shows up, it's bad news. But when Pete shows up, it's great news.
If you want to yank our chain, you can find us at Facebook, or you can find us at IndianaJonesMinute.com. And if you like the show, we'd appreciate it if you leave us a review on iTunes.
That would be awesome. That helps a lot. Helps better than getting beaten with a chain. God's sake. Jamie, will you come back tomorrow? And I mean, we don't want to watch this by ourselves. Watch Marion get killed by a guy. That's terrible.
I'll come back, but I might have to cover my eyes if it's going to get really scary.
Oh, I don't blame you. No, I think we all will. But everybody, just do it. Just bite the bullet and come back, and we'll watch the death of Marion Ravenwood in minute 69 of Raiders of the Lost Ark here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
You podcasters, you're all the same.
Renee, come on.
Toht!
Always overdressing for the wrong occasions.
That is not your color.
That is my color.